says, I love our country. How do you love your country and support and normalize somebody who was a convicted felon?
If I believe I have the right to make up my mind to go perform someplace, I believe they have the same right.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's no secret that The View has seen better days. The talk show, once a symbol of daytime TV, seems to be on its last legs. And it's not just the critics saying this. Even one of its former hosts, Elisabeth Hasselbeck, has been outspoken about its rapid decline.
Although I would have loved to have been at that table today. They have refused to put anyone there who has a lick of sense on most days.
But what exactly is driving this downfall? How did a once prominent platform fall from grace so dramatically? And what role does the ever-present, never-ending political divide play in this? Stick with me, because this one's going to be shocking. Now, we all know The View has always been a hotbed for political discussion, but recently it seems that their biases are alienating viewers more than ever, and this week things reached a boiling point with none other than Joy Beyhar making some pretty wild accusations, ones that set the stage for an even bigger confrontation. If you're a fan of drama, you're in the right place, because this latest controversy just might be the final straw. Let's dive in. Let's rewind for a moment. The View, a show that prides itself on offering diverse perspectives, has long been the epicenter of political debate. But recently, it's become known more for its unabashed anti-Trump rhetoric than for anything else. And truth be told, it's gotten to the point where it seems less like a talk show and more like a never-ending political commentary. That's where things started to go downhill. From day one, The View has never shied away from its left-wing stance. But over the years, their criticism of Donald Trump has become borderline obsessive. And while we all know that political debates can get heated, the problem with The View is that their bias is so extreme it has led to the alienation of half their audience. And that's a dangerous game to play when you're trying to appeal to millions of viewers from all walks of life. Instead of focusing on the issues that matter most to the American people, The View doubled down on their political agenda. And guess what? The ratings reflect that. With a growing number of viewers turning away from the show, it's clear that their constant political bashing just isn't working anymore. People want more than just one-sided commentary. They want a show that offers a variety of perspectives. But that's not what The View is offering, and the results are showing. Now, things really heated up this week when Joy Beyhar decided to take aim at country music sensation Carrie Underwood. Beyhar, ever the fire starter, decided to question Underwood's patriotism after learning that the singer would be performing for none other than President Donald Trump's inauguration. And that's where things got, well, messy. In her typical fashion, Joy didn't just disagree with Underwood's decision, she outright accused her of not being a real patriot. Yes, you heard that right. According to Joy Beyhar, if you perform for Donald Trump, you can't possibly be a true American. The absurdity of the statement didn't escape viewers, but it was about to get even crazier. But before we go any further, let's take a step back and look at who Carrie Underwood really is. This isn't some random celebrity. This is the same Carrie Underwood who won American Idol with the votes of millions of Americans. The same Carrie who's spent countless hours touring with the USO, supporting our troops and raising money for military families. And yet, according to Beyhar, that somehow doesn't make her patriotic if she performs at a Trump event. Now, I'm not one to make wild assumptions, but it seems to me like Beyhar was more interested in making a headline than actually having a meaningful discussion. And sure enough, her remarks sparked outrage, not just from Trump supporters, but from people who believe in the fundamental right to support whoever you want, regardless of political affiliation. But here's where things get really interesting. Because while Joy Beyhar's comments might have caused a stir, it wasn't just her voice that was heard on The View. As surprising as it may sound, Whoopi Goldberg, along with fellow co-hosts Sarah Haynes and Sunny Hostin, came to Carrie Underwood's defense. Yes, you heard that right. Whoopi Goldberg, the same person who has often been the most vocal on the show when it comes to politics, disagreed with Beyhar. Now, this is a big deal. Whoopi Goldberg is no stranger to political debates, but she's also an artist. She knows what it's like to perform for people with differing opinions. In fact, she's worked with people on both sides of the political spectrum throughout her career, and she knows that a person's choice to perform doesn't diminish their patriotism. Goldberg and the others made it clear Carrie Underwood has every right to perform at the inauguration or for anyone she chooses, and that doesn't make her any less of a patriot. Now, I don't know about you, but to me, it's refreshing to see The View hosts stepping outside their usual political bubble and recognizing that patriotism is not defined by who you support, it's defined by your actions and your love for the country. It was a rare moment of unity on the show, but one that was crucial to the conversation. But as we know, the drama didn't stop there. Enter Elisabeth Hasselbeck. You remember her, right? She used to be the conservative voice on The View, the one who often clashed with the more liberal co-hosts. Well, she's back in the spotlight and she's not pulling any punches. Hasselbeck appeared on the Sean Hannity show and didn't hold back when discussing the current state of The View. She made it clear that in her opinion, the show was sinking fast. She even predicted its eventual cancellation, a bold claim that raised eyebrows. Now, it's worth mentioning that Hasselbeck has insider knowledge. After all, she was on The View for a number of years. She knows what goes on behind the scenes, and her comments carry weight. She argued that the show's political bias, combined with the constant bashing of Trump and his supporters, was a recipe for disaster. And you know what? She's not wrong. With dwindling viewership and increasing negativity, it's hard to argue that The View isn't heading toward a crossroads, and with Hasselbeck's warning, it's clear that things might get even worse before they get better. So let's talk about the future of The View. Is the show really doomed? Well, if you listen to the critics, it might be. When a show alienates half its audience, refuses to give a platform to differing opinions, and becomes more focused on partisan politics than actual discussion, it's hard to see how it could thrive. It's not just The View, we're seeing this across the media landscape. Late night talk shows, news outlets, and entertainment channels that focus exclusively on one side of the political spectrum are starting to lose their relevance. People want diversity of thought, and when shows fail to deliver, they lose viewers. In fact, The View isn't the only show that's facing these challenges. Other programs that have embraced extreme political rhetoric are also seeing a decline in viewers. So, is The View really on its last legs? Well, the evidence seems to suggest that it is. If the show doesn't change course soon and begin offering a more balanced perspective, it could very well find itself in the cancellation column. And this brings us to a larger issue, the state of mainstream media. If there's one thing that The View and other shows have in common, it's that they've all adopted a hyper-partisan, one-sided approach to reporting. And that's not just limited to daytime talk shows. This is happening across news networks, late-night TV, and even online media. The problem is that when the media becomes more interested in pushing a particular agenda than in telling the truth, it loses credibility. And that's exactly what we're seeing today. The public is waking up to the fact that many of the stories we're being told are biased, misleading, or outright false. People are turning away from traditional media in droves, seeking out alternative sources of information that offer a broader perspective. The mainstream media needs to realize that people are tired of being fed one-sided narratives. We want truth, we want balance, and we want shows that aren't afraid to embrace multiple viewpoints. If they continue down this path, they're going to lose even more viewers, and The View is a prime example of that. So what's the bottom line? The future of The View is uncertain. As long as they continue down the path of alienating half of their audience with extreme political bias, they'll likely see their viewership continue to decline. But the bigger issue here isn't just about one show, it's about the state of mainstream media as a whole. People want authenticity, diversity of thought, and honest reporting. If the media doesn't start giving us that, it won't just be The View that's on the chopping block. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think The View will survive, or is it headed for the cancellation list? Leave your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more updates. This conversation is just getting started.